Okay, the first module we're going to talk about today is teaching English. If you have been online looking for ways to make money, more than likely you've come across Teach English. Whether it's through Vipkid or one of the other sources out there, there are a lot of companies that offer the ability to teach English. I'm here to tell you this is probably one of the easiest ways to make money and do it quickly. This is a wonderful opportunity for a gig that will give you a base that will allow you to start from a very specific place, and then give you the freedom to then start looking at other opportunities while still having some decent amount of money coming in. So this is just a really quick overcap here. The times that you will more than likely need to be available to teach is the morning and the evenings. There is almost no teaching in the middle of the day, unfortunately, as that is night in China. Most of the teaching happens in China. So most of your students are there, so that's kind of the downfall of this. However, you can make anywhere between $500 to $5,400 a month. I think $5,400 was the most I've made. I think you could even make probably somewhere around 56, 5,700 if you wanted to and you really worked hard. We're talking like 60, 70 hours a week though to do that, or to get some referrals, some other things that can happen in there to make a little bit of extra money. We're talking 10 to 40 plus hours a week. You're going to want to put in 10 to 12 hours a week no matter what, because there are bonuses, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, that add into this process. The investment, which is fantastic here, is probably about $15 to maybe $50, depending upon what you decide to do. We'll go through that process about what you need. The skinny. Okay, if you're deciding to look at this, you're going to want to ask yourself a couple of questions. Do you want to teach adults or kids or both? I've done both. I started out with kids, then I added adults. I find that both have their challenges and both are very rewarding. I currently still do teach the American accent to adults, and I love it. It's a fantastic base for me, and it allows me to travel the world and do it from anywhere. However, this will take about 3 weeks to 6 weeks to get your first paycheck, depending upon where in the month you fall. If you are starting right away in the middle of the month, you'll get a check essentially the very beginning of the following month. So it might only take you about 3 weeks. This is 1099 income, so there's no taxes taken out, which is fantastic. You can write off things, especially if you do some international travel and that sort of stuff. That's going to be 100% write-offable. This is perfect for that kind of a lifestyle, because you are immersing yourself in the cultures that you might potentially be teaching English to. This is very mobile friendly. We're going to talk about some mobile friendly setups that you can have. This is great for that. There are some minimum requirements. You have to have a bachelor's degree for most of these organizations to teach, unfortunately. And you will need to schedule out approximately 2 weeks. If you don't schedule out 2 weeks, it's very hard to get new students without opening up time 2 weeks in advance. And it is also very hard to rearrange your calendar once you have them scheduled 2 weeks in advance. So be aware of that. For those of you who need a really flexible calendar, this is not very flexible once you have decided what you're going to teach, which you'll select approximately 2 weeks in advance, those times that you'll open up. However, it's great because it's in the morning and the evening. So if you're an actor doing something in the middle of the day, or you're a stay-at-home, work-from-home parent needing to run the kids around in the daytime, this is never going to impede in that process at all. And like I said, this is an amazing base. I used this right away to begin starting to get some income to flow into my lifestyle, and it was fantastic. Then the other thing is, once you get this gig, you don't have to hunt. You know, some of the other gigs we're going to talk about later on Upwork and some of that stuff, you're going to constantly be having to submit proposals. This is not like that. Once you get the gig, you open up the time, those time slots will get full, and you will have a gig forever. which is or as long as you want it. Time is money. So let's talk about what time this is going to take here. As you can see, specifically, this is going to be 4 to 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then again in the evenings, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Primarily if you teach adults, will be in the evenings or 7 to 1, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for those of you who are on the East Coast. And so just note that the evening classes are primarily adults, so you need to do probably 2 different modules we'll talk about later on, which will allow you to teach to adults and children. If you want to work both morning and night every day. However, on Friday night and Saturday night, because that is weekends in China, you will be able to work evening hours. You must work approximately 50 hours a month in order to bonus. On almost all of these platforms, they are going to require you to work 50 hours a month. So the way that works is they're going to pay you for your time, maybe $8 or $10 an hour, and then a half hour. You'll get $8 to $10 a half hour, and then what will happen is that you'll get a $2 a half hour bonus for being over 50 hours in the month. So you want to make sure that you hit that. That's approximately 12.5 hours a week. And so what I did, I just always made sure, even when I was ramping down teaching English with Vipkid, I just easily always made sure I hit 12.5 hours a week so that I could always get my bonus no matter what. So that's kind of the skinny on the time element on this. How much can you make? If you do that really nice, 50 hours, you're probably going to make around $1,000. You're going to make approximately $20 an hour, and that's fantastic for a great base for anyone, I think. You can obviously make less, somewhere you could do, if you want to only do 5 hours a week, 1 hour a day, or just work on weekends. Some people just want to work on weekends for some extra cash. Great opportunity. You're going to be able to put in, 3 to 4 hours each of those 2 mornings. Call it quits, make your $500-600, and then you're out. This money is deposited typically twice a month directly into your bank account. So you're not worrying about any transfer fees or any of that sort of stuff. Like I said, 1 month I did make $5,400 doing this. I did, however, work like a dog. I think I was working almost 70 hours a week to make that money. And I was teaching both kids and adults, burning both ends of the spectrum. So it's possible you're going to be exhausted, quite frankly. But some people need the money and want the money. And so if you do it. I would say build some work-life balance. It is really easy to spend a lot of time doing this because every moment that you're there, you're making money. And so that's with many of these gigs. Once you start doing them, you're going to kind of have that taste and that joy for the cash that comes in from them. And you'll know every second you're sitting on the couch or every second you're doing something, you could be making money. Especially once you start to add this gig with a couple of others. Literally, you could make money all day, every day if you wanted to. Okay, the investment here and the selection process. The selection process is quite rigorous for all of these. They take about approximately a week. You can do them maybe a little quicker, but it's going to take about a week. But once you're selected, it's done. But know that you need to really play the game. You have to have a bachelor's degree for all of these. Before you even start applying, I would get a copy of your transcript sent to you because they're going to ask you to upload that onto all of their systems so that in the application process so that they have that, or at least once you've been selected, they'll want that before you can start teaching. So get that ahead of time. Okay, let's talk about some of the things that I bought to get started. I spent about $15 to get started on Vipkid. I bought flashcards, so those are critical. I bought them at the dollar store. I would recommend the alphabet flashcards as well as the colors and numbers. Super easy. You're going to want those for your selection classes because you're going to have to do a mock class to be selected, probably actually 2 mock classes to be selected that take place during the week. That's something that you're going to want to get. I myself also went out and I bought like just a tablecloth from the store. It was $1 to put as my backdrop, and that's what I used when I taught the classes. Super cheap, super easy. It's fun and it's lively. It gives you a classroom feel, which is what they want. Don't forget, you're going to have to own a colored shirt in the color that they are, whichever company it is. Some of them are blue, some of them are orange. Vipkid is orange. So I went to the thrift store and bought one for $3.99, I think it was, or $4.99. And then I ended up using that shirt for 2.5 years. I only used it for a Vipkid. I would literally just leave it on the back of my my chair, put it on when I got there, take it back off, set it there, and then wash it once a week when I was done. Because you're not going to get it dirty. You're literally only in class for a couple hours a day, and then you're going to take it right off. Some other things that I would recommend possibly getting, you could get some fun little things like this. They're at the dollar store. I did get like fun sunglasses so that I could have them during class just for fun stuff. And then you'll need a little something like this to give rewards during your mock class. Afterwards, you're going to get stars that you can put on that will show up in the module when you start teaching. It's super simple. Just know all of the slides are loaded for you. It's really easy, so don't be daunted by how am I going to teach this English? Do I need to know Chinese? The answer is no. You don't need to know any Chinese at all. All you need to know is English, and you need to read directly from a PowerPoint. Super simple. It's uploaded per student every single day. All you do is log into the system. You'll launch your class, and it's all there for you. Really easy. The same with the adults. Your slides are already there. They require that you have a professional background and you're dressed somewhat professionally. Probably, I think, at first I wore a shirt and tie, just especially during the selection process. It just made it go a lot more smoothly. They want to see that you're professional. These are professionals in China that are taking these classes. So just note that if you're going to teach the adults as well. And this selection process is a little arduous. There are classes, the mock classes on YouTube for all of these different platforms that I'm going to show you. And so know that I would absolutely Google on YouTube the most recent mock class, watch them 2 or 3 times. It is very critical you do it exactly like the mock classes are. They are looking for very specific things: enunciation, professionalism, liveliness. All of those things are the things that they're grading you on. And so you want to make sure you follow that class to a T. But like I said, I think I spent $15. So just know the investment was about $15. I was qualified in less than a week. I was teaching class the very following week. I picked up some last minute classes. I opened up times and said I would take last minutes. I did that. And within 3 weeks, I had a full roster of students. The first month I made a little over $600. And then by the end of the second month, I was already making $1,800 a month. Boom. 2 months, making $1,800 a month minimum. Away you go. Great gig for anyone. The setups, like I just went over a little bit of the stuff that I had with me. I actually put this stuff in a box because I worked from the road. My goal was to travel the world, and so I did that. So I worked from the road the entire time. So I actually just would put these things on a blank wall behind me, or I would just hang my little backdrop up on a wall and then teach right in front of it for Vipkid, and then just take it down and untape it and do just a blank wall whenever I would do adults. Some of the things that I used when I was doing my mobile setup, I would use my luggage for a desk. I have used ironing boards as a desk. Just anything where you can just kind of set up a little environment for yourself. Super easy. Don't worry, it's pretty low key. At home, I know most of the people who teach English a lot, and make really good money doing it, and become maybe teachers and referral teachers, and get up in that $25, $30 per hour range. They have a setup. It's already, they don't tear down their setup every day. They have a classroom looking environment right around their desk. They have all the stuff just sitting there in a little box that they can just pull out and use. VIP Kid really wants you to have like little puppets, and so do the others. Just know that I didn't have a puppet. I did have a little tiny cute stuffed animal that I brought with me just in case. But it's all about the language and the learning. So you're just going to do a lot of hand signs, which you'll learn. They teach you that. So don't be daunted by that process at all. So that's kind of your setup here. Here are some of the different things. You can teach with VIP Kid, which is where I taught with. It's probably the highest paying, most reputable children's company. Then you've got English First. You've got Teacher Quick Kids. You can look through these here, and there is just one major company that does adults that I worked with, and then I also did find a gig teaching accents off of Upwork. That took me a little while to find, but they are out there. I would recommend starting first with the kids. You're going to find you may not even want to move on beyond that. It's super easy money. Happens in the morning, happens in the evening. You get a lot of freedom and flexibility. So great for what you need it for a great base. Or if you want this to be your forever gig, that's fantastic too. Some people are teachers and don't want to be going into the workplace anymore. They want to. I have a good friend who just started doing this, who is an English teacher and has decided to do this part time. But it's starting to become even a little bit more than that for her, and so that's a great opportunity as well. So again, teaching English, fantastic base. I would recommend this to anyone who needs fast cash, who wants to be selected right away, who does not want to submit proposals and go hunting work all the time on the other websites that there are. They are all great opportunities, but you'll often have to submit yourself against 10, 12 other people for every gig. But you'll get them. And you don't have any of that with this. Once you're in, you're good to go. So, and then someone who wants something very consistent with some great flexibility. This is the perfect gig for you. I would start out here. Just like I said, I started out here and I found that it served its purpose, and I still do some adult English teaching at this point. I just found that kids weren't for me after a year and a half of doing it. I guess I did it for 2 years. So after 2 years of doing it, I found that kids weren't for me, and I transitioned over last Christmas, almost 2 Christmases ago now, to doing just adults. And I love that too. So, okay, best of luck with this. Of course, here are some really quick helpful things that I might get. You're going to want a little whiteboard. You can get that at a dollar store too, because it's fun to write on it. Some earphones. You'll see that VIP Kid wants you to kind of have the big set, but you can even just use the little ones from your phone. Work fantastic as well. Some critical things to know. This schedule is not very forgiving. So if you make a mistake and you can't make it to a class or your internet is down, they're only going to allow that to happen once or twice, and then they will kick you out of the system and you won't have a gig anymore at all. One of the other big things that I would recommend to you, one more huge tip, is to make an amazing teacher video right at the beginning. That happens right in the beginning of the selection process. Make an awesome video, because that's where you're going to get your clients from, and you don't realize it because you're just going through the process. And so you didn't, or at least I didn't realize it. No one told me. And so then suddenly that video is what they're using to market me. And if I had known that, I would have made a better one at that moment in the process as I went through. Be sure to play the game in your selection process and be enthusiastic. On a final note, if they don't choose you at VIP Kid, just go to one of the other ones. You'll get one of these gigs. I know a lot of people don't get chosen for whatever reason. Just know that one of the 5 you'll get chosen for, especially because you'll learn how to play the game a little better. You said "pa" instead of "p" when you did your P, and they didn't like that at VIP Kid, or you weren't happy enough, and so you'll learn to play that game. And after you become a teacher, you can relax a whole lot more. So it's just like anything else. Get through the selection process, and then things become a lot easier. Okay, in closing, don't forget, build your dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Best of luck. Thanks.